Welcome to this tutorial. In this video, we'll put the Gridbox content structure into practice by building a content block from scratch, step by step, using sections, rows, columns, and plugins. As an example, we'll recreate the hero section shown on the screen. While it's a fairly simple layout, it covers the fundamental concepts you'll use when building pages in Gridbox. By following along and repeating each step, you'll quickly understand the workflow and be able to create your own content blocks with confidence. Creating a new content block starts with creating a section. To do that, click the red Add New Section button. In the modal window, select a two-column layout and click Save. So we've now added a two-column section. Notice that in Gridbox, you can easily resize columns by simply dragging the divider between them. Let's start working with the right column. We need to add an image there. In the right column, click the Add Plugin icon. Using the search field, type Image and select the Image plugin. In the Media Manager, choose your image and click the Insert button. The image has been added. Now let's move on to the left column and add some text. Click the Add Plugin button, enter Text in the search, and select the Text plugin. In the Plugin Settings panel, replace the default text with your own content. Next, let's add a second header. Open the Context menu and select Add New Plugin. Choose the Text plugin again. In the Plugin Settings panel, in the Text Editor, change the text tag to Heading 1. And replace the text with your own. Now, we need to add two buttons. To do this, we'll first add a nested row. Open the context menu within the column and select Add Nested Row. In the modal window, choose a single column layout from the drop-down list and click Save. Now, we can add our buttons inside the nested row column. Click the Add Plugin icon, enter Button in the search, and select the Button plugin. To add the second button, use the Context menu, select Add New Plugin, and choose the Button plugin once again. Let's customize the first button. Change its label, and let's make it dark. Instead of styling it manually, I'll use a design preset. Design presets are an incredibly powerful feature, and we'll cover them in more detail in upcoming videos. For now, let's continue building our content block. Next, we need to change the text on the second button. Click the button to open its settings panel and replace the text in the label field with your own. Our buttons are ready. All we have to do is adjust their positioning. Open the settings for the nested row column. In the Settings panel, set Direction Horizontal. Then use the Gap option to add spacing between the buttons. Let's set it to 20 pixels. Our content block is almost complete. Now we need to set the positioning for the entire block. To do this, open the Parent column settings. In the Settings panel, set Align Middle. Then add spacing between the elements inside the column by setting Gap to 40 pixels. That looks great. We've completed the first part of our layout. Now, let's continue by adding the Features block. It consists of a three-column row, with each column containing an icon plugin and a text plugin. To add a new row, right-click anywhere inside the section to open the context menu and select Add New Row. In the dialog that appears, choose a three-column layout and click Save. Before adding the content, let's create some spacing above the row. Open the row settings by clicking the Settings icon. Then switch to the Layout tab and set the top margin to 60 pixels. Now let's populate the columns with content. Click the Add Plugin icon inside the first column. Search for Icon and select the Icon plugin. When the icon library appears, simply choose any icon you like. Next, let's add a text plugin. Open the context menu, select Add Plugin, type text in the search field, and choose the text plugin. Once the plugin settings panel opens, enter your feature title in the text editor. Now let's improve the appearance of the column and adjust its design. Open the column settings and switch to the Layout tab. Then use the padding options to add 60 pixels of inner spacing on all 4 sides of the column. Next, let's add a border to the column. Set the border radius to 20 pixels and the border width to 1 pixel. Finally, let's add some spacing between the elements inside the column. Switch to the General tab and set the gap value to 20 pixels. At this point, we've built only one of the 3 columns, but most of the work is already done. Instead of recreating the content and styling for the remaining columns from scratch, we'll use Gridbox tools to speed up the process and save time. Using the context menu, we'll copy the content from the first column and paste it into the others. Then we'll do the same with the styling. We'll copy the style from the first column and apply it to the others. The context menu in Gridbox is an incredibly powerful tool, and we'll take a closer look at it in upcoming videos. At this point, our structure is complete. The only thing left to do is replace the icons and text. To change an icon, open the Icon plugin settings and select a different icon from the library. Once you've replaced the icons and text, save the page and let's take a look at the final result. Although this block has a relatively simple structure, the skills you've learned in this practical lesson provide a solid foundation for building your own content blocks. Keep practicing, experiment with different structures, and you'll soon be able to create more advanced page layouts with confidence. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.